This winter I met some new friends on the beaches of Fuerteventura, one of the Spanish Canary Islands. They are known in English as Barabary Ground Squirrels, or in Spanish as Ardilla moruna. There is an interesting background in that they are not native to the island, having, as their name implies, come over from the coast of northwest Africa. The story goes that in 1965 some were brought over as pets, but then escaped, probably because they have good burrowing skills. The conditions on the east coast of Fuerteventura are similar to their native habitat, and they thrived in the wild. Some reports estimated that there were over 300,000 on the island, but other more recent ones put the figure at nearer 1 million. Given their behaviour and skills at hiding in rocks, any meaningful count must be impossible. They are considered to be pests, but all the Canarian authorities can do is to try to stop them migrating to the other islands. They are gregarious animals and form groups of up to 20, the correct collective noun being a dray or a scurry. They seem to patrol up and down their territory, and if you wait long enough in one location, they will turn up at some point in the day. There appears to be a happy coexistence in these groups until food comes in the scene, and then there is absolutely no question of them politely sharing the spoils. They are described as being omnivores, and I can certainly confirm from my own experiments that they are happy to eat nuts, seeds, apples and cakes, and several times seemed quite convinced by lunging towards it that my camera must be edible too. Unfortunately, they also eat the eggs of small birds such as members of the bullfinch family. They have been described as being precocious, and again I have no argument with that. They seemed fearless of human beings and would happily take food out of people's hands. They could though be easily spooked by birds flying overhead or on the cliffs, whether it was seagulls or members of the crow family. They would then dive for cover and not reappear until they thought that the coast was clear. Tourists who delight in providing the never-ending titbits to the creatures must be a contributory factor in their population explosion. They evidently produce litters of between 4 to 9 cubs or kits twice a year. I did not see any youngsters on my December visit because breeding is usually in February-March time and again in August and September. Their tails are as long as their bodies, and they can use them for balance when they do their sit-up and beg routines. I did not find the perfect food for filming. Seeds they just nibbled at on the ground, and ground nuts they scurried off with to squirrel away for another day. Cake to an extent worked best, because they would stay and eat large pieces standing up, and then they would zip around very efficiently hoovering up the crumbs. They had considerable acceleration. One moment they would be in centre frame, and quite literally 1/10 of a second later they would be completely out of it. They would also shoot off in what appeared to be completely random directions. I tried various experiments with them and came to the conclusion that they had an acute sense of smell. They seemed able to locate nuts hiding inside 2 plastic bags inside a rucksack. Often, when standing up, they seemed to sway around as if sampling the air. On the other hand, I'd reason to feel that their eyesight was not so good. They definitely have a memory for locations though. If they had found the titbits I'd brought in one place and I then moved the bag somewhere else, they got quite confused for a while. They circled the first location, seemingly convinced that somehow it was still there, until they again followed their nose to the new place. I was sad to leave my entertaining little furry friends behind, but then there is always another year.